In Austin and then go to Guadalajara to face Mexico. So welcome to CONCACAF.
Yeah, that's a nice start.
Nations League quarterfinals coming in November as well to finish off the year for this US men's national team. Still waiting to find out the opponent for that. Mackenzie down the left side. Lund doing really well on that far side, but it's cleared away by Finn Surman. It looks as if Christian Pulisic might be coming in. He's just in conversation with Mikey Varas and starts to put on his jersey.
Yeah, you wonder if he slides Pepe into the middle.
It's all swept in towards Pepe on the penalty spot. Remains 0-0, 10 minutes after half-time.
Yeah, Pepe's had a good game. And going back to Fossey, one of the reasons Fossey's been able to have such an advanced position is Pepe's done so well when he inverts and plays in those central channels of keeping the ball, possessing, opening up those channels wide.
Plays it in towards the edge of the box. And here come New Zealand up towards halfway. Stamanik charging forward. Wood is in the box. Is a chance here for Just. Turner has to make the save. The danger not clear just yet. Comes all the way back to Payne. He's forward from right back. Mackenzie can get it away. And New Zealand with the best chance of the second half on the counter.
And this is a great idea. It's just under hit, and right here Morris, he's got to make that challenge. He knows it. Either take the player down or just make sure that you get a good challenge in. And that's a wonderful ball, and just he's waiting, and as that last touch goes, his angle just gets worse and worse. Really well done with the help defense from US after the save from Matt Turner.
So Haji Wright will make way for Christian Pulisic. His last 27 appearances for the United States have all been starts. The last time Pulisic came on as a substitute for the US was in February of 2022 against Honduras in World Cup qualifying. And Pulisic gets a big ovation from the crowd in Cincinnati as Haji Wright makes way. He might be a little disappointed he didn't have longer to try and impact this game, Haji Wright, and have more of an impact in terms of getting some efforts on goal.
He had bright moments. I mean, he was involved in a lot of dangerous movements, but I think he's one player when you say the final third, it just wasn't always clean enough, or the passes on to him weren't clean enough. But this is definitely the game he wanted to stay out there and go get a goal.
Morris with the challenge on Marko Stamanik.
Yeah, it's like for like. Pulisic going to go into that left-sided spot. And Lund was talking about having had a lot of reps with Christian Pulisic ahead of him. It's a nice game for them to further develop that.
Payne on the right side, forward towards Stamanik, who's actually on loan from Nottingham Forest at Olympiacos. Nakache charging forward, Fossey sliding in with the challenge. And this is Ricardo Pepi now as he looks to play the ball forward for Aronson. Our first opportunity for Christian Pulisic down the left side, running at Tim Payne. Pulisic then cutting inside on Rufer. Back it comes from Morris.
Look at Fossey. I mean, he comes back and makes that challenge. He's already in this attacking position all the way up the field.
Fossey with the ball inside for Aronson. Good play around the edge of the area, but will there be a final product here from the United States? 2 minutes short of the hour mark. Morris. Pulisic has support from Lund coming down that left side. Pulisic will cut into the box himself. Rolls it across for Aronson. But one white jersey lined up along the edge of the box there as the US were trying to find a way forward. Fossey. No way through against Garbett. Jersey there by De La Torre.
sequence here where obviously a yellow card. He's got to make this foul here. Just a little too cute when the ball got central. Aronson, a few players at the top of the box. New Zealand had just compressed into a central area. There wasn't much space there. That's where you just got to recycle the ball. Try to drag them out of those central spots.
Tim Paine over halfway. Just ahead of him, it comes back to Stamenik. Pijnacker forward through the heart of the US midfield. Pache couldn't keep that one in play.
You talk about all the positives of this game. You know, just one mistake and New Zealand got a very clear chance, and that's obviously what Mike is talking about at halftime of you can't give anything up. You know, and Morris, he's had an excellent match, but just those moments right there, you know, those are huge moments. You got to make the right decision.
Given away by Richards here, and a shot well wide from Marco Stamenik. New Zealand in the next window will start World Cup qualifying for the 2026 World Cup. The top two teams will get through in their groups. Here's Pulisic coming forward towards the edge of the area. Pulisic cutting in on Paine. Balogun, now De La Torre. It's Lund pushing forward down the left side. Now it comes back towards Balogun. Balogun denied by Krokop.
Pulisic gives this pass away, but just immediately works hard to win it back. And it just falls directly to Balogun. This is a really good effort. It looks like it might be sneaking on the other side of that post, and Krokop just has to make sure that he hits it wide. Balogun trying to catch Krokop leaning left. And Pulisic on a set piece here, trying to make a difference right away.
Pulisic will take it. Richards in the box, McKenzie making a run towards the front post. Pulisic swings it in over the top of the head of Chris Richards. Picked up by Aronson on the near side. The Leeds man resets towards Lund. The Palermo defender, Christopher Lund, across the back there for Morris. Wide for Pulisic against Tim Paine on the far side. Another corner there, off Tim Paine. Fossey from distance, that one's blocked, comes back towards De La Torre. New Zealand getting set to make a change with Ben Old coming in shortly. Backwards for Paine. The US still looking for a breakthrough here with under half an hour left to be played. Joe Bell brings it forward towards halfway.
US's first line of competition a little bit higher. I mean, that's one way that you go and get opportunities is try to force turnovers high up the field.
Bell once again, led in his second Olympics. Started all three games in France. Pepe's ball across to De La Torre. Pulisic from just outside the box, closed down so quickly. It was the challenge coming in there from Rufa. Now it's Morris, a little bit of space here. The next change for the US will be Caleb Wiley. Malik Tillman might also be coming in. This is Ricardo Pepi. Balogun turns on the edge of the box, it's Aronson! Krokop with a save, and Pepi can't put the header in. It's out for a goal kick.
Wonderful sequence here. It just watches this ball comes in, and Balogun does so well to just wait. Beautiful two touches there, first to set him up and the other to put it right in front of Aronson. And Aronson, he's really good with both feet. He just doesn't get that wide enough. Krokop, it's at a good height. He's got to finish that. He knows it. Aaronson's been staring at the sky ever since he missed that. He's shaking his head. You know, he just telegraphed it. He just shaped his body. It was so clear he's going that way. And if he's got to go that way, he's just got to go with so much power, and started almost outside the post. Just put it a little too close to Crocombe.
And that could well be Aronson's last touch. Malik Tillman and Caleb Wiley set to come in for Brenden Aaronson, and also Christopher Lund. Tim Payne is going to make way for New Zealand, and Bill Tuiloma is going to be coming in. He was a late addition to the squad, but a name that will be familiar to Major League Soccer fans, especially those in Portland and also now in Charlotte. Bill Tuiloma playing 25 minutes against Mexico, his first cap since last October, but he's been in the US for a long time now, since joining Portland in 2017. Tuiloma making the move to Charlotte back in February of 2023. So a double change for both sides here, with the game just short of the midway mark in the second half. Elijah Just being replaced by Ben Old. Ben Old plays for Saint-Etienne. Scored his first international goal during the Nations Cup in June. New Zealand managed to win that OFC Nations Cup. Christopher Lund said to us that he wanted to come in, and obviously he's been around now for a year and hasn't seen the pitch much because of Anthony Robinson, understandably. He said to us he wanted to take his opportunity in Robinson's absence to play the game his way, and try and show that he can be a piece at this level that can be relied upon. Has he been successful?
Absolutely. And what he said, and he gave a lot of credit to Robinson, I want to show that I can be relied on when Robinson's not available, or he's injured, or he's being rested. Obviously, he wants the starting position, but he knew, I've got to show I could be a good backup to this guy.
Fossey trying to get a header in there to clear it as it comes back here for Stamanik. Stamanik with that cross into the box, Turner can claim.
Yeah, he's moved himself forward in these two games, I think.
A lot of talk about the full-back positions and the differences in the way that some of these players play. Obviously, Anthony Robinson playing at the very highest level with Fulham in the Premier League. This ball played into the box. Serginho Dest still injured right now, and when Joe Scally comes in, he certainly doesn't have that attacking presence that we've seen as an understudy for Dest that Marlon Fossey has shown tonight.
But and the hard thing, and we've said it before, with no World Cup qualifier, for Mauricio Pochettino, he's got to be able to depend and rely on players, and typically World Cup qualifiers solidify the belief that a manager has in a player's ability to go to a tournament, whether it be a World Cup, Gold Cup, or whatever it is. Those qualifyers are the closest thing you can get to having very high stakes, where the details are important and one mistake can cost you. So without qualifying, it's got to be consistency. Obviously talent and all of that, but Pochettino can't see a drop in anyone's performance. Has to see consistency the whole time.
Pulisic has Caleb Wiley out there on that far left side, but will turn the other way. Wiley, the 19-year-old, on for his third cap. Second substitute appearance of the year. Pepe rolls it in towards the edge of the box. Balogun tried to turn into the path of Christian Pulisic. Finally, they find their goal with a little over 20 minutes remaining. It's Christian Pulisic coming in as a substitute, who makes it 1-0.
Just really good movement, wonderful ball to open up things wide. And then I just love this from Balogun. This is excellent. It just takes a lot of contact, perfect pace on the pass to Christian Pulisic. And watch as Pepe fires it into him. He just collects it, but collects it and prepares it with the outside of his right foot, all in the same movement, gets it to Pulisic, and this is wonderful for Pulisic. Just watch how fluid this is. He just touches the ball, left foot, right foot, gets it right out in front of him, and just the sequence of how quickly he's able to get this shot off right under the defender's foot, perfectly in the corner. And that's the quality that Mikey wanted in the final third. It's 1-0.
A moment of quality from Christian Pulisic, breaking this game open. The 25-year-old from Hershey, Pennsylvania, scoring his 31st international goal on his 73rd cap. It's his third goal of this calendar year. And here's Fossey away down the right side. Pepe. A little bit like that home game against Trinidad and Tobago last year in Austin, where for so long the US were dominating but couldn't find a way through. Pulisic gliding in towards the edge of the box. Now it's Balogun! Carried away by Crocombe. They managed to score 3 in the final 20 minutes that night to win against Trinidad and Tobago in Austin in that window last November, after a stalemate for so long. Tillman inside finds Fossey. Morris. Out for a US throw here with 20 minutes left to play. Del Torre, picked up here by Christian Pulisic. Ken Wayne getting set to come in, I think the next change for New Zealand. Started against the US in the Olympics. Del Torre. Morris racing across to keep this one in play on the right side. Crossfield ball couldn't pick out Caleb Wiley. With a goal and an assist in 21 appearances for Atlanta this season.
Well, here's this Balogun chance, and Pulisic, he just fires it behind him, but wonderful pirouette to get it out in front of him from Balogun. He's thinking shoot the whole time. It takes a little bounce, so he gets contact on it, puts a little top spin on it. This just has a nice height. And Crocombe sees it the whole way. And Balogun, you can see when there's runners around him, and the service is good. And obviously, Balogun's great with his back to the goal. He's got good feet, but in the first half, it's just the runs and the fluidity wasn't there. And this is one of the reasons when he's not scoring goals, he's in the lineup, because he does link up really beautifully.
Caleb Wiley making that move from Atlanta to Chelsea and then on to Strasbourg on loan. He's appeared in all 3 league games so far with his new team. Got his first assist in a 4-3 loss against Lyon. Of course, was part of that US Olympic team as well, just 19 years old, Caleb Wiley. Michael Boxall getting set to come in for New Zealand as well. Minnesota United defender. So here's the double change for New Zealand. Chris Wood makes way as he gets set to return to the Premier League with Nottingham Forest this weekend. Chris Wood, New Zealand's all-time goal-scoring leader, unable to add to his tally tonight. Christian Pulisic looking to add another one here. He has a goal from distance. Christian Pulisic with his goal tonight, passing Brian McBride for sole possession of 5th place on the US men's national team scoring chart.
You see what he's trying to do. He's you see the ball hopping a little bit as he hits it. He's trying to curl it. Doesn't put his laces through it. Side foots it. But every time he gets the ball, he's trying to run at this New Zealand team. It has to be tired. I mean, they've worked a lot in this game without the ball. And not having a fully energized Christian Pulisic run at you, it's not fun.
Pulisic now 3 behind Eric Ronaldo. It's his 2nd goal at TQL Stadium. The other one was also when he came in as a sub. November 2021, World Cup qualifier against Mexico. The man in the mirror, Christian Pulisic, scores once again in Cincinnati. 15 minutes to go. Pulisic plays this one back for Morris. 1-0 doesn't really reflect the dominance in terms of possession, but there haven't really been that many clear-cut chances for the United States. Crocombe with a couple of saves. De La Torre down the left side now, and he'll get the free kick.
And you know, you go through the list of players that we talked about: Gio Reyna, Tim Weah, Weston McKennie. Yeah, there are players here that obviously, one of the reasons they're in the team, one of the reasons they're in Europe, is their quality in and around those areas. That's lacked a little bit tonight, but this U.S. team has showed a response. The players have come out, they've done the details, but at this point, it's can you comfortably manage out this game? I mean, there's no reason they should give up any clear chances. They should be very comfortable. And that is what Mikey wants to see. Does he want to see a 2nd goal, 3rd goal? I'm sure he'd love to, but he wants to see them manage this game well.
De La Torre goes out of Marco Stamanik for a corner on the far side for the US. Fossey. Now Tillman. Balogun. No Josh Sargent tonight, by the way, on the bench. As a precaution, felt a little bit of left ankle irritation in training. So Josh Sargent was left off the lineup for this one tonight. Not available as a substitute. Tuiloma up against Pulisic there. It's out of play for a goal kick here. The striking position is one that will be interesting to follow under Mauricio Pochettino. First of all, how he decides to play in terms of which strikers he's going to need on the pitch, what style of play, how many of them at once, and also which ones.
I think if you consider most cycles, there's always been a last-minute striker that comes into the side. You know, you think of guys like Edson Buttle or Herculez Gomez, and you know, there's got to be someone you don't expect that's going to get into this group. But the thing that's missing is just the clear and obvious number 9 that's been scoring goals for the national team.
Pulisic down the left side. Wiley with a cross in. Balogun trying to get on the end of it. Score. Could have been more. Pepe had the ball in the net in the first half, ruled out for a foul. Here he is on the ball right now. Back for Richards. De La Torre gets it back from Pepe. Luca De La Torre with the ball across to the left side for Caleb Wiley. Pulisic cutting in here against Tuiloma. Tillman. Pepe out for Fossey on the right. Christian Pulisic has scored an international goal as a substitute. 25 of his goals coming as a starter. Here he is on the far side. Challenge coming in from Tuiloma. De La Torre picks it up. And this is Morris.
I think going back to the number 9 conversation, it's going to be a player that's going with their club that's going to start to show up.
Tillman through for Wiley. Wiley's ball across goal. Played away by Kakache. And now here come New Zealand down the left. Tucked inside there by Kakache, and Fossey is able to get it backwards to Richards.
Yeah, I want Fossey's ground covered. I want that stat. I mean, he has been tireless this entire game. He's got the Frankie Haydukes about him with how much ground he's covered. And the hair a little bit, too.
Played forward here for Balogun to chase. Crocombe coming to the edge of his box. Crocombe was the Burton Albion Player of the Year last season. Plays in League One in England, 2 clean sheets in 3 league appearances this season. Spent quite a bit of time in non-league. Got promoted to the Football League twice with Salford and with Grimsby Town. He's got with a couple of big saves tonight, Crocombe. He's making just his 11th appearance for his country. Here's Wiley coming forward down the left side. Into the path of Pulisic. Back for Wiley. Into the final 10 minutes here in Cincinnati. Still 1-0 for the USA. Christian Pulisic with the goal. He scored a little over 20 minutes from time. De La Torre with the ball across to that far side for Mark McKenzie. Now Tillman gets it rolled through for Balogun. Fossey down the right. Up against Kakache on this near side. Fossey does really well, pulls that ball back into the box. Might drop for Tillman here. No way through. It's brought away by Ben Old. The Saint Etienne man just made the move in the last window. On the left side. Sit back there from Stamanek. Rufer with the ball across to the far side for Tuiloma. For it on the near side, and Aidan Morris tried to win the ball back. Against Stamanek there, played across by Joe Bell. A successful college career at Virginia. He was the ACC Midfielder of the Year in 2019. Picked up by Garbutt. Tuiloma pushing forward, gets it across goal, and Ben Old just couldn't quite make the contact. Ben Old just making the move to France in July.
The U.S. a bit lucky that that's overhit. I mean, if this ball is played with the right pace, that's a goal.
Old actually playing against Balogun on his Ligue 1 debut. Monaco and Balogun winning 1-0 on that day. A couple more changes coming. Costa Barbarouses, the veteran, coming in, and also Logan Rogerson. Garbutt and Rufer, the players making way. And a couple of changes to be made by Mikey Varas. I think Cade Cowell is one of them. And Johnny Cardoso is the other one.
This will be good for Mikey Varas. I think when we talk with him, the one thing that just comes out that's clear is just his love for the game. I mean, just his passion and his excitement to be in this opportunity. He knew he wasn't going to be the head coach, but he got his chance. I mean, and very few coaches get that chance to coach the full national team. So obviously it'd be nice for him personally to get that win.
reportedly set to join San Diego as the first head coach of that new MLS team.